We move away from 2 weeks ago in Argentina over to the Circuit of the Americas. Welcome to the Americas Grand Prix, round 3 of the season, in what is shaping up to be a battle between Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez for this year's championship. It's qualifying ahead of the sprint and Grand Prix. Hello everybody, welcome to JB Motorsports and live coverage of Watch Along for qualifying for round 3 of the 2025 season here at the Circuit of the Americas. This fantastic circuit was built mainly for Formula 1 racing. Now MotoGP rules the roost for this weekend. Let's get straight into the action then and head down to TNT Sports. As we get ready for all the action, we'll hand over to Susie Perry.
Hello, welcome back to the Circuit of the Americas. Sun has just gone in here. It's a little bit cloudy. What a session that was. There was so much to talk about. Hello, Honda.
They've been coming. It's so nice to see. Obviously, Johan Zarco's been the one making the headlines to this point. But now Joan Mir, he looked so good this morning. Marini, I've always thought he's a little bit of a slower build. He come to the fore. The bike looks good. It looks agile. Looks like it's stopping. We've said from round 1, the front end is so much improved that the riders can now attack the racetrack. It's good to see.
Yeah, big changes in that garage and clearly working, which is fantastic. Aprilia, a slightly different story this weekend. Of course, it was Maverick won here last year on the Aprilia. Bez 11th fastest there. They really are all about the sea, aren't they, here?
Yeah, they're a little bit struggling. They were struggling yesterday as well. They had a few mechanical problems, well, electronic problems. And, you know, Bez was like building his session, but he's just not quite there. I think, you know, for Aprilia here, yesterday, last year, sorry, Viñales made a huge difference. He just really rode really well here. And so far this season, actually, they're just struggling a little bit to come to the front. Yeah, it's a shame because the Aprilia last year was working really well on that track.
Yeah, well, we can get the latest, actually. Let's go down to the Aprilia garage where Nat is with Max Biaggi.
Max, Aprilia was celebrating here this time last year. Marco Bezzecchi, yesterday we saw him crash, problems at the start, perhaps a Friday to forget. Better session for him there, but what was going on yesterday?
Yeah, he didn't have the best session yesterday. Of course, he fell down, but also I think the bike was not probably in its best condition for him. So his first time with Aprilia here, of course. He rode the Ducati for a few years. I think he looks much better, already much more confident. He tried to tune his bike in the way he likes, because the first part is very physical, so he tried to have a bike more, how do you say, handling good. And I think now we will see when they put fresh tire if he can do it.
Q1 though is always pretty tough, isn't it?
Well, you have to go through Q1, but you know, that's racing. You know, sometimes you waste time and that's not your fault. Sometimes yes, but his whole experience is going to help him for the future.
We can see Jorge over there just taking a close eye on everything. You've spent a bit of time with him this weekend, and I'm sure you're excited as everyone to get the #1 back and on the Aprilia, but it's important that it's the right time when he comes back with an injury like that, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I think he feels, you know, bad because he cannot jump on the bike, but, you know, how you say, shit happened, and during the test he had a problem, but he recovered quite well. I see physical conditions getting much better. Hopefully to have him aboard in Qatar, and just when he feels ready, you know, because there's no point to go early and maybe have extra problems. So I saw him very motivated, and we need him aboard.
Good to talk to you, Max. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Nat. Apologies for a bit of language there. Is it me, or is Max Biaggi like Benjamin Button? He seems to be getting younger every year, doesn't he? He's looking fantastic, but to get through for Bez, you know, he's got to beat in this session the likes of Luca Marini, who we just saw having a really terrific session, and Fabio Quartararo, who's kind of been on the bubble all weekend.
Yeah, 2 places isn't a lot in Q2 when you're looking at the lineup that you have to defeat. Fabio could click. The Yamaha's a little on the back foot again here. We're still waiting for the Yamaha to burst onto the type of form we've seen in Sepang pre-season, but it's in there. We see it with Jack, and Fabio could pull one out of the bag. Bezzecchi, likewise, I thought more would come from Bezzecchi in Argentina. It didn't quite happen, but the Aprilia does work around here. So fingers crossed for Aprilia and for Marco that they can make that next step. But yeah, it's going to be a tough Q1 session here.
What's your take on the electronics and Aprilia? Because obviously Max sort of having to play down the problems that they've got there. What have you noticed yesterday?
Well, it looks like the bikes were sort of stuck in limp mode, so normally that can happen maybe if the bike did not disengage the pit limiter. looked like he was doing about 60 km an hour, and that's the pit limiter where it's set at. It could be another problem where the bike recognizes a fault, like a engine temperature or something like that, and that would not give the power. It's like basically the bike just goes into like a recovery mode, not to do any damage.
That's what it was. They said because of the temperature yesterday being quite low, they couldn't. It took them almost 45 minutes to get the temperature up to working range, and that's why they had that limp mode on the outlap.
Okay, as you can see, the clock is about to start ticking down for this session Q1. Fabio Quartararo, the fastest of these boys so far this weekend. Neil and Gav has got this one.
Thank you very much, Susie.
Yeah, cheers, Susie. And it's time for qualifying ahead of the 2025 America's Grand Prix. Let's see what we've got to offer then, shall we? This interesting little championship has been brewing something strong for a long time. I personally can't wait to see what we're going to have. It's a tricky weekend that hopefully is going to be put right. Fingers crossed. It is going to be good as we just adjust the levels on our microphone inputs there so we don't deafen anybody. Marc Marquez then will go out in Group 2. Group 1, what's going on with our timing monitors? Anyone else noticed this? Yeah, timing monitors have really gone funny at the moment. Well, they might reset themselves throughout the session. Hopefully they do. If not, however, it's Johan Zarco, he's going to go out, yep, there he is, in this one, along with Augusto Fernandez and Luca Marini. Then Fabio Quartararo, Leo Bassini, Raul Fernandez. Ahead then of Lorenzo Savadori, Brad Binder, Marco Bezzecchi and Ayagura as well. Hopefully you can tell who's actually in this session with who's going on the screen, but it seems like half of the field's been cut out at the moment on the tracker, so apologies for a few bits of issues that we're experiencing. Hopefully the timing tower fixes itself soon here, as we've got an interesting qualifying ahead of us. A dry track now, cloudy in the air, air temperature 23 degrees Celsius, ground temperature 28 Celsius. There's a 5 km/h wind blowing in from the northeast, and there's a total of 80% chance of rain in the air. So not too bad. It could be better, could be worse, but there's a system still going on there as we ride through. Hello to everybody watching on. Julian says both Hondas, my bet. Water Sun says, oh, hello. To Marc Marquez. Oh, he loves Marc Marquez. Hello. Hello to Plug. Hello, everybody. Jimmy. Hello. Sean's here. Time for spicy qualifying. Your 2 picks to get into Q2. Time machine's messed up. My picks Marini and Zarco. He says my picks for this session to go through. I will go with definitely Zarco because he was impressive. Second of all, I will go with Marco Bezzecchi. So have I gone? Yeah, I've gone Honda and Aprilia. Optimistic from my point of view. I know Omi says hello. Hello, Omi, of course. But yeah, timing towers have corrupted here. A yellow flag sector 2. Well, the good thing is it'll reset itself once everybody sets lap time, so don't worry. Oh, big one there. And that is the 25 of Raul Fernandez, who has crashed. And we're going to have a red flag because the air fence is in a big damage here. Raul Fernandez is okay. He's gone like this and doesn't know what's happened with the bike, but this session's going to have to be stopped because the bike's gone into the air fence. The air fence has gone up on its side. So the bike's deep in there. We haven't yet got our first sector times on. Let's take a look at how it happened. So it's at the top of the hill at turn 10. He's over the exit. Does he touch the bump? No, the bike just gets loose on exit. He's going to high side this one, isn't he? No, yeah, he is. He just dropped it right at the top of the hill. And it's going to skid him all the way down. And it's not a great runoff area there if you do go off in places. And that's, unfortunately, Raul Fernandez in a big one there. No sign of the red flags, but unless they're going to stop the session just afterwards. Instant red flag. Red flag's out. Yeah, they've red flagged it. But the timer hasn't stopped, neither has our red flag graphics. The timing system's gone down. Well, I've seen it all now. Red flag, just a yellow flag that time cancelled, but the air fence needs to be redeployed. We saw that coming. It should be red flag, but we haven't got a sign of it yet. Megan Birch now with us in the comms box. Hello, Megs. And yeah, it needs to be red flagged. but they haven't actually put the red flags out, despite the fact that it needs to be redeployed.
What's the barrier like? And also, I can't hear myself.
It's set. So you say again?
I can't hear myself.
Can you?
No.
Whoa! Can you hear yourself now?
No.
Well, we can hear you.
I can't hear myself.
So we'll fix that in a minute. What do you think?
just leave it.
What do you think of the red flag? The barrier needs to be redeployed.
Well, I want to know
they
what
haven't
this
red flagged it.
barrier's like. Also, isn't that a bit too fast going round?
The S's section where the yellow flag is, yeah. No sign yet. As they'll continue on up through. Now this is where the air fence needs to be redeployed. Rain. Yeah, rain coming in on the top of the hill. I can't. It looks like the air fence has been put back okay. Maybe we've got away with it.
What was the damage like?
The two air fences were up like that, like an L shape. So they had.
That's never good.
They had distributed itself, but I'm surprised that hasn't actually caused.
It was doing a
red flag.
handstand. I don't think it's meant to do that.
Hang on a minute. Why haven't our lap times sorted themselves out?
Refresh the page.
Yeah, this is really strange what's going on right now.
Maybe they're having problems with it.
Yeah, timing system's going down. Our system's not wanting to work. Even refreshing it doesn't work. So, strange start to qualifying here.
Kind of worked a bit.
Yeah, Bezecki still jumping over. So we come into it. Let's have a look then.
Yeah.
Sean says, it seems like Simon Quayfire says that's okay enough to continue. Yeah. Well, Simon Quayfire's head steward. He's not the race director. So it's still Ian who's in charge of race direction. Well, as I'm still aware, unless they've changed the system compared to this year. That tide cancelled for yeah, well, hang on a minute. We're cancelling all the lap times. Have we actually got anybody coming through? Marco Bezecchi's now just had his lap time cancelled for a yellow flag infringement.
Is he out?
Well, red flag! Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had to. Timings aren't working.
So that's why everyone went in.
Nothing's working. They've got 8. They've just lost half the session and the red flags come out. Well, it had to, didn't it? We knew that was going to come out a few minutes ago. What's
Why did
going
it take
on?
so long?
Is it? Yeah. Look at this. Instant at turn 10. The air fence needs to be redeployed. That took a long time to come out.
They let them go around for at least 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
With that air fence looking like that.
And the timing screen's not working either. So that's why all the lap times weren't working, because they kept getting deleted because of the yellow flags.
Probably not working because of it.
We would have had a Q1 separated by absolutely nothing because they weren't coming through.
And who's top of the leaderboard? Everyone.
Yes. Null and void. So, red flag with 8:36 left on the clock here of Q1 because of an incident at turn 10 where the air fence needs to be redeployed. Well, while we work this out, I'm going to fix her headset. Let's pop down to TNT.
There's Justin Marks down at Trackhouse. And it's the crash for Raul Fernandez. That's meaning that airbag needs redeploying. There it is over the top of the crest.
Told you it was fast. That's quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks. Airbags did a job. Thankfully, he didn't follow it right in.
I think it won't take long actually, because it just looks like the airbag's been moved. Yeah. Like it's not been popped.
Which is sometimes can take quite a while, can't it?
Let's hope that marshals who are great here can get things done fairly quickly. So there is Luca Marini, just getting himself prepped. He's thinking that it's going to be a fairly quick turnaround.
Not the sort of rider that you'd put anybody on to think he's going to get through. What I mean by that is he's not a risk taker. He's like, he'll push hard. Of course he'll push hard. But
It's methodical, isn't it?
Yeah, he won't push over his limit to get through to Q2. Where you look at some of the riders around him, like a Zarco, would take a risk.
Well, Raul Fernandez.
Raul Fernandez is just a binder. King of the risk.
It's Raul Fernandez's second bike. Waiting to go. I wonder if Raul's made it back yet.
I'm surprised at the weather. I just popped out the commentary box. The wind's up. It's
You can see with the flag above
not as
there.
hot as it was supposed to be.
We were told it's going to be really warm and sticky and humid here today.
So it's quite early. It's only 11 o'clock here.
Yeah, a reminder that in the UK tonight, clocks go forward. And
We've got it right this time.
I know.
I kept saying they were going back yesterday. I thought, no, they don't.
I knew what I meant. In my head, I wasn't saying that. In my head, I was saying the clock's changed. But yeah, clocks go forward tonight. So it's 11 o'clock currently here, and it's a 5-hour gap between the UK and here tomorrow. 6 hours, of course. Yeah. Trying to work out when things are. A reminder, we've got qualifying now. Moto3 qualifying will be at 10 to 6. Moto2 qualifying at 6:45, and our sprint race from 7:30 p.m. this evening. And then on Sunday for race day, MotoGP warm up from 3:30, and then we've got the programme from 4 with Susie. Moto3 race is at 5 p.m, Moto2 at 6:15, and all the build up for the main event of MotoGP from 7:30 p.m. We'll have checker flag afterwards. This is the nasty little high side for Raul Fernandez. His rear wheel just stepping over the far end of the curve.
You know, the airbag deployed what looked like relatively a fraction late, but it was because of how it placed him on the track. It wasn't a violent. I know it looks obviously in super slow mo, it looks less violent, but it still did its job. He's one of the riders that brings his arms in. It's not. The majority of riders don't do that. Normally, when you bring your arms in,
I always think Jimenez style. I don't know why.
You can end up barrel rolling, and it can sort of make it a little bit worse. The theory is though, then if you've got your arms out to try and keep yourself flat, then you've more chance of breaking an arm or flipping over and breaking a wrist. So each to their own. Sorted that out anyway.
Yeah, we're ready to go in 1:20.
So what they're going to get?
Well, one go.
It's one run, yeah.
So we'll take the outlap will be 2 minutes 30 for your outlap. So that will bring it back down to 6 minutes. Then you'll probably get 2 goes at it, and that's it. Do you get 2 goes at it?
No, you won't get 2 goes to leave. Just 1 go. Stay out.
No, but what I mean,
What do
if
you
you
mean,
get
tyres?
2 laps,
Okay,
are the tyres going to take, 2 full track goes? But yeah, there's no chance to come back in again. It's a shot overhead from Johan Zarco. I have to say, it's been a great start to the year. 5th in the championship, 4th and 6th in Argentina for Johan. 7th, of course, in the main race in Thailand.
And away we go. Ready to go then. Restart for queue number 1 here. And we've got our live timing systems back operational somewhat, which is a slight relief after being worried that we wouldn't have any timings. We'd have to get our own stopwatches out. Very attractive young lady holding a Valentino Rossi flag as well over in the main grandstand. The Americans starting to love MotoGP racing. So they should. We just have 3 races here in the States. The America's Grand Prix, the Indianapolis Grand Prix, and the United States Grand Prix, which used to be at Laguna Seca. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And the red flag really helping Raul Fernandez because he gets to come back into the pits and change over. I mean, what we might see here is a hot bike swap because none of the riders have been able to do an opening lap, and usually this is the lull period. So they're going to come in, they're going to go out now, do a lap, come in, change bike, go out and go again. It's going to be quite an interesting situation, Megan.
That must be quite weird for them to not have the lull period.
Yeah. They've had a red flag, I suppose, so it's the same mental setup, but usually we'll see them going out with 5 to go. But I'm with you on that. It's already been a longer session than we planned. So the times will be differential. Back with us.
I messed up on it.
Duolingo.
So I had to go off of it because I do not tolerate something less than 100.
Oh, Duolingo.
Yes.
Fine by me. Session Q2 will start at 11:25. So that is 4:25.
I spelled
Over here.
it wrong because I was concentrating on that for a second.
Reminder, after this, we've got the NASCAR practice and qualifying coverage. That's coming your way. And then after that as well, we've got all of the action from the Tissot Sprint. Myself and Megan in the booth. Tomorrow, warm-up, both for Superbikes and MotoGP on JBMotorsports 2. The Super Pole race 2 of World Superbikes will be on JB Motorsports, as well as the Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP Grand Prix, where for the Grand Prix, I'll be joined not only by Megan, but by Mallory Dobbs.
New schedule.
Yeah, so 11:25 for the second Q2 session coming up. As
20 minutes.
did that look like a tiger was trying to break through there?
Yeah, it did.
On our time, on our TV pictures, it froze to an image of a tiger. So
Where
somebody's
did that come from?
Somebody's desktop theme probably being interrupted with the computer monitors up here. It's pretty much standard as we circulate through here. 5.5 minutes
What
to
are we going
go.
to see next? An elephant?
Yeah. It's Circuit of the Americas, anything can happen.
Getting the whole safari.
Q2, 11:25 to 11:40. So that's going to shift things ever so slightly. Lap time cancelled already, though, for the 25 of Ralph Fernandez. He's only just started another lap. Session's going from bad to worse for him as we take a look at
Isn't
Marini.
causing a red enough for him?
Yeah, and you already lose your fastest lap time for that, but luckily no one had set a fastest lap time, so he's got away with this massively.
He really has. No one actually dislikes him in the paddock.
Yeah. The bike of Marini there, just stepping up at the rear.
Imagine if you'd only just set your fastest lap time, and imagine if it was a record time.
Yeah. Oh, Marini's bike's not looking good, is it? That's the second time that measure's come up.
Yeah. Ow.
Back support needs to be changed. First sector. So, unusually, with 4 minutes to go, we have no idea what the running order is because we haven't had any lap times yet.
They all just have the same.
Yeah.
0.
Or it'll be Marini and Quartararo who would progress if we can't run any lap times. But finally, we're going to get some. Luca Marini, a 2-minute 2:001. That's your fastest time so far. Let's see what everyone else has got to play with.
Was he walking?
Well, the lap record here is a 2-minute 0.8, so I know what you mean. It's still a dampish track.
2-minute 0.8.
2-2, 2:04 for Bezzecchi, Rins, Binder, Bastianini, Augusto Fernandez and Chantra. Now they're coming in.
How long is this circuit if it takes 2 minutes for them to get around?
It's a 5.513 kilometre circuit. That's 3.426 miles. It's one of the longest circuits on the MotoGP calendar.
No
For
wonder it's taking
Formula
2
One,
minutes.
it takes 1.5 minutes, and then you add that in. Silverstone also doubles up as a long lap here.
Jeez.
Any Formula One circuit bar Austria that we visit is usually the longest, one of the longest on the calendar. Quartararo's gone through into P2, 2:02.113, so he's finding some better delta. Ralph Fernandez goes 7th. So, oh! Quartararo dropping a knee in turn 1 and just picking it up. How on earth did he save that one? If that was a push lap, he would have lost it.
Thank goodness it wasn't.
Was it a push lap though? Oh, just dropped it on entry to 1. That's a world champion save.
He looked back just like, what did I just do?
Did I touch something? Did I catch my foot on the ground?
Did I just forget I was riding a bike?
He puts his knee down, and it's like the knee just grabs him, and the knee slider grips on the circuit and drags him, and it's the bike that twitched as well.
Part of me thinks he accidentally almost fell off.
Yeah, look at the lean angle. Look, so he turns in. Yeah, the bike was already unstable, but then when the bike became unstable, the knee slider sort of gripped on the surface. That's what caused the sort of half pull towards him. Because if it was the bike that was an issue there, the rear would have stepped out, but it didn't. It twitched to begin with, but he saved the twitch, but then the knee slider gripped. That's what I read into that.
I always compare riding a motorbike in my mind to riding a horse. It's just as temperamental.
Garage 43 asking if we're from the UK. Us two are.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of the team are. but there are some in America, some in Poland, some in Spain. Mallory's in Spain, but she's from America. So yeah, it all sort of rounds out. One's from Australia. Yeah. Our resident crazy nutter, Maddie Patterson.
With another donkey.
Has got another donkey. Yes, she has got another donkey. Flopsy. Or
Well,
floppy.
what was the other one? Ginger? I think very lonely.
Yeah. I don't know if... Yeah, but another donkey. She's got 2 donkeys now.
Well, now Ginger can't be lonely.
I can't wait for Mal to be in the box tomorrow for the Grand Prix, just so that she can back me up on how crazy Maddie actually is. Wonderful woman is our friend and colleague Maddie Patterson as we look at Luca Marini.
Almost dropped it.
Bit of sunshine down at turn 10 and 11, so this is getting a little bit better.
Everyone's almost dropping it. Also, that rain's just come right over.
Yeah, it's hanging over the top of the circuit, isn't it? We sort of knew it was coming. You can feel it starting to bubble away here as the session continues on.
I want tea.
Food or cuppa?
Food.
Yeah, well, it's a chicken with it's a ramen.
Better ramen.
It's a better ramen. I've made sure it's a better ramen.
Not a total fan of adding the rosemary and thyme, and it was nice, but I prefer Manora ramen.
Yeah. Don't know what Joe Samiego's up to right now. Oh, the Grid Live After Dark is coming back soon for the Japanese Grand Prix, where the first time we did it was a couple of years ago, where I was on cameras and everybody else was new, and my camera failed midway through. I lost internet, so the team had to fill for about 10 minutes while I fought to get back in what was a chaotic Grid After Dark to preview the Japanese Grand Prix. Yeah, not a bad weekend, actually. Last flying lap then with 10 seconds to go in this session. What have we got? Marini and Quartararo still fast, but no one's lighting up the timing screen, Megan. It's a rather...
Dull.
Yeah, Q1. Flags out.
That's because of the red.
Yeah, it's spoiled it all, isn't it?
It's kind of messed with all their heads.
Binder 5th, Bezzecchi 3rd, Rins 4th, Igo 7th, Augusto Fernandez 10th, Chanchos 11th, Salvadori's going to go over to 12th, Sarko to 5th, and that's about it. No one else really improving. Quartararo's got a fast middle sector, but it is going to be Marini and Quartararo to go through, and that confirms it. Woohoo! Bastianini's on a lap time still, so we might count him in as well. Raul Fernandez. They're the only 2 left. Marini, he's already through, regardless what happens here. Raul stays 9th.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
And Bautista is down. Are you sneezing? Do you want me to turn this off? Because it must be the heater.
No, I was doing this before.
Raul goes 9th. And yeah, that's it. Bastianini isn't going to improve either. He's backed out of it. So that's it. Luca Marini and Fabio Quartararo are your 2 riders through from Marco Bezzecchi, Alex Rins. So hang on, let's get this right. Bezzecchi will be 13th, Rins 14th, Zarco 15th, Binder 16th, Bastianini 17th, Iagura 18th, 19th for Raul Fernandez, 20th Augusto Fernandez, 21st Somkat Jansson, 22nd for Lorenzo Salvadori, but half a second down. I don't think that's going to put Bastianini really anywhere in that running order with a soft rear tyre. I can't see anywhere on the track where he progress up to. It's a long lap here. Hope. No, stays 7th. So that's it. That's all it concludes as Marini comes into the pit lane as well. So Bastianini's get another lap time to complete out there. But that's it. That's Q1 done then here from the America's Grand Prix. Your thoughts? Yeah, isn't it? We're all waiting for Q1 when it's going to be Marquez, Di Antonio, Morbidelli.
Be a bit more action-packed, I think. And also, that is... When they showed that flag just then, that was definitely in slow motion because no wind blows this flag that slowly.
It's at 2 kilometres wind power, so you're right. It's a huge flag, though, by the way. It's about...
Still.
That flag that you've just seen at turn 1 is about the size of this commentary box in width and length. It's a huge flag. The Texan one's as well is big. But I think it's slightly smaller because, of course, the American flag is bigger than the state flag.
Yeah. Well, still, nothing blows something that slowly.
You can't say anything like that tomorrow when we're also promoting Mallory's OnlyFans. because then that's different connotations. Into turn 1. This is Quartararo's save again, Megs. Oh, just such a good save.
Did he hit his head?
He didn't. No, he didn't hit the deck. But oh, do you mean on the?
Yeah.
Did he elbow himself? No.
No, I was thinking more on the front of the fight.
No, he didn't. But his right leg did come over. That was nearly a goodbye. Right. Okay. Let's head down to Susie then, who's down in the paddock.
You're limited for time when something happens, because those two were the fastest out of that gang, really, weren't they, in free practice too, and were able to replicate Luca Marini, particularly special, and a bit of a landmark for him as well.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with Neil. That is the best we've seen Luca Marini look on a Honda. He just was aggressive on the direction changes, confident with the front, a few little moments where he got in deep, but that means he's taking liberties, he's pushing the bike, and he's happy to do so. It's so positive when you see there is 4 Japanese bikes in this Q2 session. We've got the 2 Yams and the 2 Hondas. It's it's boding well and good to see at such different racetracks.
Yeah, fantastic to see that mix. Clearly the communication has improved at Honda within the team and with everything that they're doing. They just need to sort it out a little bit for the people telling the story, so we could have a little chat with them. But Fabio Quartararo as well, going through there, and he'll be happy to get in there because it's about qualifying for that Yamaha and pushing up.
Yeah, and to be honest, Fabio has been struggling a little bit since the start of the season. He's been out-qualified in Thailand by Jack Miller, and then there again on the way to to Q2, where Jack Miller was able to go through as well. So that'd be good for him. When we got here, in his interviews, he was a little bit sort of like not defeated, but it sounded quite down.
Disappointed.
Yeah, disappointed and I think he really hoped after the Sepang test everything was working really well, and he was like, right, that's it, we're back. And then suddenly you get to race 1 and it's not happening, and you've been qualified by the newcomer Jack Miller on the same bike as you. So it just didn't quite click for him. So that's good for him. It's going to give him confidence, and now he's going to be able to have another proper go. I do, and I said it before, I do feel like with the Yamaha things are clicking, and it is coming as well.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if he's disappointed, imagine how Marco Bezzecchi is feeling, because Bez not through, none of the Aprilia's through.
Yeah, perhaps we didn't give Maverick Vinales enough credit 1 year ago. Top KTM coming through, so obviously he works around this racetrack, but maybe Aprilia just missing a little something, because we've seen with the new bike, Agura's look strong, Bezzecchi looks strong in Argentina, but maybe it is the lack of dry time yesterday. They haven't quite got they've got the agility, but they haven't the stability. You can see the bike looking so nervous on acceleration over the bumps. You enter turn 19 and the bike's just twitching. Doesn't allow you the confidence to use Aprilia's strength, the high corner speed nature that he really excelled with last year with Maverick Vinales. So yeah, work to do for Aprilia. Electronics still to dial in, chassis to get balanced. So it's not a disaster, but they'll have wanted to be in Q2 this afternoon.
Yeah, talking of Q2, both Gresini Ducatis through. Firmin Aldeguer yesterday, raising a few eyebrows and having a great performance. And we can go down to Natalie, who's in the garage now. What's the latest?
Well, Michele, really tricky conditions for everybody yesterday, but to have both riders straight into Q2. But a special mention, of course, for Firmin Aldeguer to finish P5. How pleasing was that for you?
Yeah, really proud of him, because yesterday we was fast in every condition, in the wet, in the dry, and in the 50-50, in the tricky circuit also. So the important is that we keep growing up. We still do our process that we want. We don't want just to reach a result without know how made it, no? And so we will continue like that. The important is to start in the first 3 row, if it will be possible, to make a good race.
What have you said to him ahead of this session then?
Nothing, just to try to understand and be focused on his riding style, also riding alone, because focus on the hard braking points alone is more important for a rookie, because it's not easy always to ride inside the group with the front pressure, tire and so on. So just to keep him alone and riding.
Another test for Alex as well this weekend. We know historically he's not had the best results here, so to see him finish at the top end of the group yesterday must also be encouraging for him this weekend.
Yes, it's true, but it's true also that we come in a very good shape, and I think that we need to start in the first 2 row with Alex, and I think that we will make a great result.
Thanks, Michele.
Thank you.
So it's official. Michele Massini from Grassini has not spoken to Fermin Aldeguer before he goes out. But he was doing great yesterday, and I assume benefiting a little bit from Alex Marquez and, you know, where he's at the moment within that team.
Yeah, I listened to Fermin talk, and he's not happy. He wants to be right at the front. As a rookie, you got to be realistic, but he's punching above his weight. This weekend looked good yesterday, as did Alex. Both Grassini riders look fast. So yeah, I love Aldeguer's optimism, but sometimes you have to be a little bit patient. He's on a good bike, but he's coming in to fill a hot seat that was Marc Marquez's spot. So you're not going to come in and rattle feathers right away. Some people do, but I think Aldeguer has to be a little patient, but he's looking good.
And Marc Marquez was the fastest yesterday. And in terms of pole position, which obviously they're all going for, around this circuit, how important is it in terms of positioning to get pole here?
Yeah, I mean, for Marc, he could probably get away with starting last. I mean, that's the truth. He's been so strong around here historically, but also since we got here. So yeah, it looks like he's got an edge over everybody. It's a track where actually the field can get stretched out a little bit because of that first section, you know, with the fast flowing corners. So yeah, you want to be starting at the front. I think it's going to be a real tough fight to be on the front row. But it's going to be very, very tough to beat Marc. I'm curious to see what kind of lap time he can do, because already with a few patches in the practice this morning, he was really quick, and he was in race rhythm mode as well. So now, putting the soft tyre in, can he do a lap record? Well, yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, you would expect something like that because he's been smashing them during every race we've been to so far. But yeah, that front row, in terms of the sprint later on this afternoon, we have had some stretched out races around here. I mean, let's not pretend, we've had some quite dull races around this track because it is wide, there's lots of different lines to take, and like you say, they can get stretched out. Probably not in the sprint though this afternoon, hopefully. No,
10 laps is around here is still physical 10 laps, because when you go 10 tenths and attack the snaking section from turn 2 all the way to the run onto the back straight at turn 11, it's so physical, and I think that's part of the reason why the groups do stretch out a little. But I think we're in for, well, it depends on how the front row ends up. Pecco's responded this weekend. He feels like he's got his bike back, or at least his feeling from his old bike back, and he looks good. And I think Marc's obviously strong with a significant advantage, but there are a few little wild cards in there. I like the look of the VR46 boys, so yeah, that could change. The run to turn 1 is ultra important here, leading through there and then controlling the race for Marc is typically how he likes to approach his Coda weekend.
Yeah, looking at Marc there. Any advantage in that last session in terms of the quality of the track? We did see that there could be still some little patches that Fabio experienced perhaps out there. So, you know, could this be a strength for Fabio and Luca Marini going into this?
Yeah, 100%, because the track is still drying a little bit. There was still a few patches. Fabio nearly found that as well, you know, going into turn 1. And the track is evolving, so, you know, it's been some rain overnight, and the track was very, very green this morning, no rubber down, and he's getting rubbered step by step. So the track is evolving, so having done the Q1 gives them a small advantage about the track, understanding the track conditions and the level of the grip.
Jack Miller was 6th fastest yesterday, doing it for Yamaha, flying the flag. Let's pop down to the garage now, because Nat is chatting with Gino Bortoy.
Yeah, Jack really was flying the flag. Fabio, we've just seen get through to this next session, but Jack flying the Yamaha flag. It was his conditions yesterday, but must give him a good feeling for this weekend. What's he saying?
Well, for sure, Friday was a really great day for us, and the rain condition actually was the first time for us to try the bike on the rain condition, which is good also because we understand that the bike on rain it's quite good. The balance is good, especially for Jack, where he found something normal for him. Let's say something that he can ride easily. So no complaint. Means that on that condition we are quite okay. Then of course, then through the weekend now in the I'm sorry. Not wet condition, so
dry, better condition.
And I say in the better condition now we have to work much more, especially on the acceleration and grip the rear, but this is something that we already know, so we are working on it.
we've just been seeing you listening quite intently to Augusto Fernandez there, very early in his testing days, but here, of course, for Miguel Oliveira. But important to get some different feedback, isn't it? What is he saying?
Well, for sure, it's important for us, it's important for Yamaha have another rider onto the bike, and especially during the race weekend, because he can give us much more information. He have a different style of riding on the bike, so he can help us to understand a bit more, to have a better scenario about the bike. For sure, it's not an easy weekend for him, because on the rain condition yesterday, dry condition today, we can be best.
Thank you, Gina.
Q2 is underway here at the Circuit of the Americas, and this is going to be a very interesting one. This is the one we've been waiting for as we get in Luca Marini, Maverick Vinales, Fabio Quartararo, Franco Morbidelli, Juan Mir, Pedro Acosta, Jack Miller, Fabio Di Giannantonio, Fermin Aldeguer, Pecco Bagnaia, Alex Marquez and Marc Marquez. That's your running order as they run uphill towards turn number 1, swooping down into the right at 2, and then the Mickey Mouse section at 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, up to 8 and 9, and then the crest at the top of the hill, a double left into 10, and then into the braking zone, downhill into a very much acute turn number 11, power down the straight to turn 12, another left-hander, double at 13 and 14, 15, 16, loop back to the right as well, and then long sweep at 16, 17 and 18 before the final 2 corners on the left at 19 and 20 before back up towards turn number 1. It's a fascinating, flowing circuit, and if World Superbikes are over at Portimao, the roller coaster, Megan Birch, it seems right that MotoGP comes to Kota, which is very much
looks like
undulating.
a roller coaster.
It literally does look like a roller coaster. What are you expecting? Who's your pick for pole? In what is a severed head you've got right there. You're not even on the screen visible. You're a tiny little one, aren't you? Anyway, go on. This is why we had this camera, but we haven't got it on yet. So go on. What's your pick?
I am going to go hopeful here.
Yes.
Can't decide between 2.
Can't decide between 2. Who's your 2? Go on. Give us the front row then. In no particular order.
Vinales, Quartararo.
That's a bold
I'm
1,
hopeful.
2.
I told you I was hopeful.
Okay, I was thinking you were going to go to Alex and Marquez as a more logical choice, who's dominated the, pole position.
When has logic any help anyone?
No, but we've had 4 races this year. 4 races, Mark's been on the front row alongside his brother Mark, and 4 races to finish like that. It's Mark going to be on
it's
pole
got to
position.
change at least 1 race.
Yeah, not at Kota. Not at the Circuit of the Americas, which literally
But it would be so
belongs to
funny.
him. It would be funny, but it never really works out that way coming through. As we come here, Marc Marquez has had a total of 68 pole position. Blimey. If we get it tonight, it'll be pole position number 69. We're really out in for the innuendos today, aren't we?
What? Okay.
And he's 97th in career history. Who's my pick? Marc Marquez. You can't go against him.
I can.
Yesterday, Megan, in practice, in that session, just take a look at the timesheet here. He did a 2:02.929. Look at Di Giannantonio's lap time. He's done a 2:03.665. Mark was 7.5 tenths faster than Digi. On a similar bike, it's the Evo bike for Mark, but it was just insane how close nobody else could get to him. And you're really betting against him?
I just want to see something different.
Yeah, well, I can't argue with that, but first sector times coming through. Medium front for Mark, soft rear. It seems to be the same for Digi as well, as they continue on the attack and on the push. And Alex is just behind him. But I don't think everyone's on medium front, soft rear. Yeah, no one's really changing between the two men.
Someone's got to hope for the rest of the field to have a chance.
Yes, that is, I think, case in point. You've got to have an opportunity to come through at some point. So we'll see how it goes. But meantime, it's all going rather smoothly.
And now everyone's out of the track, now that Morbidelli has got out of the pit lane.
Yeah, Morbidelli moving up, and here comes the lap times then. What are we going to see? Lap record here for best pole is a 2:08.64 set by Maverick Vinales last year. That was on a resurfaced track. What we're going to get on a dampish track, it's a 2:01.522 for Marc Marquez. Antonio gets close, 2:01.690. That's 2/10. Well, it's a tenth and a half, let's face it, 0.168 differential. Alex Marquez only 4th. That's a surprise, Megan, for the first 2 races in Thailand and Argentina. I would expect a wipeout. So it does look like the VR46s and even Bagnaia slowly starting to get towards the front.
That they are, but well, let's see what Morbidelli's that time turns out to be. Is it going to be any good?
Morbidelli.
Not really.
Here he is now on our TV screens. He's 8 tenths down.
Well, back to his old ways already, I see.
Sadly so, yeah. As over the line, and Morbidelli is a 2:02.486. His time yesterday was a 2:03.766.
You'll find the perfect bike one day, Morbidelli. I mean, it wasn't every single time you were the teammate of the champion. Might be this one.
He just tipped over my own glass of Coke in the commentary box.
That would have been...
Yeah.
That would have been disastrous.
Mark could go faster, down to 10:11. A huge twitch, Megan. Rear of the bike snapping.
If he's twitching it like that so early in this qualifying, then that does bring worry for the races.
See how it goes then. Marc Marquez, 0.052, a differential. As Pedro Acosta still there, 2 tenths down. Mia, 0.116 off in the 3rd sector. Not too shabby. I'm liking it. It's getting a good sort of rhythm into it, isn't it?
Yes, slowly but surely. And no red flags this time.
No red flags this time, which is the critical point to add in. Let's get to the chat. Kota hasn't been Alex's strongest track so short, but Mark said 29.2 in the 2nd sector. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's Alex. Still 4 tenths down to a 2.006.
Ah, so close.
It was a 2:01.762 his previous lap time. I had to look at the timing in order to work that one out. Costa 2:02.205. All down, not doing anything good this time. Come on, what have you got for us? This circuit that offers so much always bites back so hard. It's a weird track.
Come on, bite one of the drivers. Riders. Either way. I mean, I'm sure they all drive cars at some point.
Well, all of them actually do motorcycles mainly a lot as well. But yeah, they all have a car to come into and out of the circuit. They're not allowed actually to drive themselves. They have drivers for them.
What, are they worried they're going to race each other off the road?
Well, quite a lot of them actually stay at the circuit as well. That's
what, in the garage just?
No,
they're sleeping bag.
They've got the motor. Some of them would.
Is the car done yet? I mean, sorry, bike.
Some of them would. Some of them honestly would sleep next to their bike if they could. But that's one thing you saw at Donington actually as well, was the amount of camper vans in the little caravan side that belonged to the riders. And they're all set up for satellite signal. And there's Elon Musk Starlink things set up as well. Quite huge amount of Starlink setups.
That's a lot.
Oh, how did at turn 20? Yeah, Juan Mir.
They're all falling.
He was completely off the bike there, and he kept it. The lead angle was at least at 70, and he goes like that. Yeah, I'm not surprised it was a close call. And there he is smiling, watching on.
Has this been resurfaced?
There's a tiny bit of resurfacing that's been done ahead of the Formula 1 race, yes, earlier on. So it was resurfaced last year in parts, but then a total resurface before the Formula 1 got there last year. So yes, it is a newly resurfaced track for MotoGP.
Okay, that explains why they're all falling.
Yeah, there's a bump coming through at some part. And of course, this is the only day really that the rubber started to go down. Yesterday was a complete washout. Never got dry once. I think we had some slicks on, but the track, it rained overnight and it was too greasy to actually put the proper rubber down. So,
right. Well, that explains it. It's funny how you can always tell when something's been resurfaced.
Yeah, it's a darker sheen over the circuit. And here in Austin, Texas, you definitely can tell because the track gets baked year in, year out. And it's built on marshland. So this track underneath actually moves. Yeah,
no wonder they're all falling about all over the place.
It's why we get so many bumps at this track as well, because the surface does actually move. The swamp underneath the circuit that it's built on, it's like it's on paper mache clay. It just moves around.
And they thought putting loads of bikes on top of it and a pit plane
Yeah.
was a good idea.
Yeah, well,
That's like saying, see the ice? Go build a house on it. No, build it with concrete,
they are called,
not ice.
They are called igloos.
Yeah, but this is built with concrete and not just any type of concrete, cinder blocks.
Just going to pull you back a bit so they can see your face so you don't look like a severed head at some point. That's cheating. I know we're minimised for this when we go qualifying so that you can see us back at home, everything, but yeah. It's a tricky... Lost comms. That's weird.
I can't hear either.
Yeah, track noise is gone.
I can hear it very minutely. There it is.
There it is, going back through now. Big thumbs up from Bruno.
What, are they going through a tunnel?
Winter Purple says, if Lawson raced his F1 car in MotoGP, what position do you think he'd end up in? Last.
27.
Yeah, do you know why?
There's not even a 26.
Do you know why? MotoGP bikes are the fastest started compared to Formula 1. Off the line, in a launch, nothing can beat a MotoGP in a four-wheel car.
That's why it'd be 27.
Just straight away. Formula 1, you've got the... Whereas MotoGP, it's... Straight away out.
With F1, it's a slow... it's a gentler
Gentle
start.
acceleration.
This is... Go for it! Your life depends on it now.
Yeah, it's literally that. With the
You
whole
get the wrong angle? Sorry.
and
Bye-bye.
with the ride height device as well, you literally holding the brake, you pull the throttle back, you let go, and it's straight off.
It's like a temperamental horse.
Yeah, it is exactly what it is. This is why I think everyone says, oh, cars were the evolution of horses. No, it's not.
It's motorbikes.
Motorbikes are the evolution of horses.
They even act like it.
Yeah, because they can just throw you on a high side any time off. It can just kick you off. We're basically racing a bunch of buckaroos, and saying that, someone's buckarooed it into turn one.
Wait a minute. Is that the same?
It's Fermin Aldeguer on the Gorossini. I thought it was Alex for a split second, but it is Fermin Aldeguer who's gone off at the top. I can't wait to speak to Mal tomorrow, because we had Lizzie on last year, and Lizzie is going to be joining us again this season. She's testing at the moment for her road racing campaign. Mallory's over in Valencia at the circuit of Ricardo Tormo. First of all, we'll get an update on what that circuit's like, but also to get her experience riding, because she's ridden Kota. So it's a perfect, and this is, it's a home race. So Mal's the perfect person to have up in the booth to talk to as well. Yes, MotoGP is faster than Formula 1. To give you an example, the speed trap, 331.6 kilometres an hour down the back straight. Formula 1 could only reach 322. So the straight line speed, the bikes are faster. And that's because of the whole shot device. That's because of the ride heights on the bikes as well. So yes, they're slow in the corners. Formula 1 cars are quickest with the corners, but on the straights, no. MotoGP is the fastest form of racing. In terms of two wheels, though.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of four wheel, I wouldn't even say it was Formula 1 then. I'd say it was IndyCar. Because on the Indy 500, just 220, sometimes 230 miles an hour with a brick wall there.
IndyCar and NASCAR always reminds me of just like more aggressive bumper cars.
Formula 1 is the best sport in terms of technology, innovation, and driver skill.
Touring cars also reminds me of more aggressive bumper cars.
Touring cars is an aggressive form of bumper cars. The touring car drivers, I can speak from personal experience, they have the mentality of crash, crash, crash.
Yeah.
It's bumper cars day.
I have the same mentality when racing.
Yeah, you're suited touring car. Media Day in 2 weeks' time. Tuesday, the 15th of April, will be trackside at Donington for the whole day. You can join us where we bring you all the new British touring car action. And their first test is at Croft. We'll be bringing you the watch-along with the timings. That is on April the 1st. No joke. Tuesday, April 1st.
I dread that day.
And we all dread that day, but I'm going to be locked in my commentary box and no one can play a trick on me. Do you think Mark can beat the track record? Track record here all time is a 202.864. That's the pole time set last year by Viñales. We're at the 201.522. There's not a Griff on the circuit? No, I don't think he can this time. First sector for Alex is red. Marini's two sectors are red. Acosta's got a red sector, so is Miller. Now let's see what the lap times are going to bring over the line. Alex Marquez has found a 10th in the last sector. Alex Marquez, a 201.448. He takes provisional pole position away from his brother.
He's planning to do a Hamlet.
Here's Luca Marini. Is he going to get anywhere closer? 70,000's down in the third sector. 2 tenths down. Well, Mark is finding time, and so is Alex in that sector that nobody else can.
Shame that Alex is finding more.
Yeah, here goes Pedro Acosta up into 4th. That goes Marini, Acosta 6th, Miller's 8th. A minute to... Look at Morbidelli! Look at Mark! Morbidelli might just get top stop here. He might, I think... Oh, and it's twitching through 16 and 17.
Okay, well, how much is...
I want a yellow flag, sectors 3 and 4. Is that Mark?
I don't think...
Where is that yellow? It's just behind. Are you sure it's not? Well, we're riding with
Is that
Mark.
Vignale? No.
Is it Bagnaia? Is it Pecco? No, he's moving. Someone's off, and it's a yellow flag. I think it's a Honda. Morbidelli goes second. It's
I
Juan
think it's
Mir.
Ah.
Juan Mir's off. Marc Marquez back to provisional pole, 201.088. Now I start to believe that maybe the track record can be beaten.
54 cancelled.
Aldeguer, that's put him down into 12th position. He was running up the order as well.
49.
That's D'Antonio. Has Mark got one too? Was he in that sector, or did Mark get through it? Has Mark's pole time just been erased?
Probably.
That's going to be very close. He was quicker than Alex.
I think he just got past it.
Well, they haven't said anything yet on our timing screen. Checkered flag is out. The session is over. Who's got pole position for the Americas Grand Prix? Here comes Pecco Bagnaia. Computer is putting them in for 4th position at the moment. Is that going to be a key factor for anything out here today? That's Alex.
73 cancelled.
Shortcut. Bagnaia over the line. 6th to 4th. For the first time this year, it's not the same top 3. Starting a race. Bagnaia, 2nd row.
Oh my goodness.
Pedro Acosta is on an absolute charge right now. Computers predict him to go front row. Out of the last corner, boots it up. And Pedro Acosta puts the KTM onto the front row with 3rd.
Woohoo!
Look at Digi. Digi's looking quick as well in that middle sector. Sector 2's up.
It won't last.
Well, I've got a feeling it might not. 4th.
Forget. 4.
Here comes Maverick Vinales. He's 11th.
Maybe 4th.
10th for Vinales. Quartararo's down in 11th place. No time set for Fernando Aldeguer just yet, remember?
Coincidentally, Vinales and Quartararo are next to each other.
Juan Mir's not going to do a time. He's coming to the pit lane after his crash. Digi's backed out of it. I think that's it. Pole position number 69 in the Premier class for Marc Marquez. The king of Kota is back, and the dominator of 2025 continues. Marc Marquez, 3rd pole in a row and 69th of his Premier class career, 97th overall.
That was very, very good.
This
and
is
yet
weird.
again, it's Mark and Alex.
Yeah, first, same one too, but finally someone different with Pedro Acosta now putting out Bagnaia 5th. He thought he's found something here, and it's clearly not gone right.
Clearly he's left it at home.
Yeah. Sprint later, Megan, in a couple... Yeah, it feels like it's the end of the day, because it's, what is it, 4:42?
Yeah.
But we've got another session later on. We've got the sprint race coming. 3 consecutive poles for Marc Marquez for the first time since the 2019 Czech, Australian and British Grand Prix. Wow. Megs, your thoughts coming into this one?
I think it will be quite interesting. Also, the reason why D'Antonio backed out of his lap time was because he went off.
Ah, okay.
He knew that it would get deleted anyway, so he thought, may as well not try.
Well, Megs, thanks to you. We'll let you go in now, and I'll see you later for the action. Now, let's head over to TNT Sports and get the latest news and exit of this qualifying session.
That was it.
Oh, Fabio Di Giannantonio's had a time reinstated.
Oh, we're going to stop and bring it back in. Fabio Di Giannantonio's had a time reinstated by the stewards. Fabio Di Giannantonio will start this race weekend from 2nd on the grid. Alex demoted to 3rd. Unbelievable. Digi's going to start 2nd.
Finally, something different.
They've reinstated the time, and for the first time this year, it's the same pole sitter, but a new 2nd place.
Woohoo!
Right, well,
Did you?
that's a surprise. Didn't see that coming. It happened literally as we handed down to the World 2 TNT. Let's go now, and that has surprised everybody.
Alex Marquez again on the front row. Worst qualifying of the year for Alex Marquez.
Not bad.
3rd. But at a track which he hasn't traditionally gone well at,
No, not at all. They'll be
shows that everything's working for Alex Marquez.
Jack Miller, top Yamaha. Again.
In ninth. Yeah, the top non-Ducati Acosta in fourth, and then the Honda and Marini seventh, Mir in eighth, but looks like Marini and Mir have decent pace. Then Miller ninth, and row four, Vinales, Quartararo, and the rookie Fermin Aldeguer. So Bagnaia, third on the grid in Thailand, fourth on the grid in Argentina, and now sixth on the grid here at the circuit of the Americas. It's another damage limitation sprint and race that he's got ahead of him.
He'll be hoping to get a good start. He normally does.
Usually does, doesn't he?
He normally does. And then it's tight up to turn one.
Yeah, and what we've seen is when you do start, so the start line is further up the grid here than the finish line, and the run up to turn one, there we are, confirmation that Gian Antonio's best lap reinstated. The run up to turn one, to have enough to judge the brake pressure required to release the ride height devices is just a bit of a calculation we've seen that hasn't necessarily
It's worked out. Yeah, it's tricky. It's one of the hardest first corners. Very similar to Saxon Ring, as in a sort of nadgery little first gear hairpin. This one's a bit more difficult because it's completely blind, the apex. So actually, when you're starting with a full tank of fuel, I know obviously for the sprint races they'll have less fuel in, but yeah, when the whole pack go charging up there, it's difficult to judge. It really is. The Ducati lot don't look as excited as normal because it was expected, wasn't it, really?
And not too far outside, actually, of the all-time lap record, but it still stands from Vinales, a 2 minutes .8 last year, a 2:01.0 here from Marc Marquez. Gian Antonio, 2:01.1.
Class.
Let's not forget that he's on the factory bike, and
yeah.
So...
let's not forget he missed pre-season testing because of breaking his collarbone.
So, all the Ducati front row, Alex Marquez, Fabio Gian Antonio in second, but on pole for the third race in a row at the start of this season, Susie, it's Marc Marquez, as predicted.
Shocker. Yeah, I think we all expected that to happen. The KTM of Pedro Acosta just being pushed off the front row to make it an all Ducati front row. What did you make of that session?
Well, we thought it was a foregone conclusion, but at one point I wasn't sure if Mark would put it all together. He did obviously give up the previous lap. Joan Mir was trying to get the toe and he made a little mistake. But yeah, it's one of those circuits where Mark can just make that little difference. Half a second in the first sector alone just shows you he's got some magic around this racetrack.
Yeah, he really does sprinkle his magic dust around. It was his brother, though, that laid down the first marker, Alex Marquez, who went provisional P1.
Yeah, once again, Alex Marquez on a very different track, and on a track that historically has not worked out for him very well. Really impressive. So Alex Marquez, we know from the first round that we're going to have to count on him this year. We know that Ducati 2024 is really suiting him, and he's making it work as well on a very particular track here in America. So yeah, Alex, great qualifying again. Just so strong and looks strong as well with the race pace. So yeah.
And let's have a look at the man in pole position then. Third pole position on the bounce in 2025, 100% so far. We did expect it because he's brilliant around here. He's not called Captain America for nothing, Michael.
Yeah, he loves this racetrack. Remember what he could do here on the Honda. Last season, it wasn't the standout performance we anticipated, but everyone knew on current form with this GP25 Ducati, he was going to be so hard to stop. But what
this
about
is the
Digi?
lap that was reinstated, Michael.
So yeah, I knew Digi was in behind Joan Mir, so I guessed that was the yellow flag infringement, but it has been reinstated. It was a deserved lap time, a quality lap time from Digi, but yeah, he got the job done and going to enjoy the spoils from the middle of the front row of the grid.
And this is really what Digi needs after what he's been through with the injury and recovery, and seeing Frankie do so well last time out. This will be such a boost for him, won't it?
100%. He's still building up. He's still getting better and better. You know, he's had that major surgery at the end of last year, opted to miss that a couple of rounds to better his recovery. It's a really long recovery, the surgeries had done on his shoulder, and breaking his collarbone in Sepang. So he decided not to have surgery for that. Takes a bit more time to come back. He wasn't able to really train before the first 2 rounds, and now he's really coming to speed. So yeah, for Digi, that's very impressive.
And we know what he can do when he gets the bit between his teeth, because we've seen it.
Yeah, when he gets into his stride, the second half of 2023 was exceptional. He's one of those confidence riders, I do believe. You give him the bike, you give him the tools, and you let him build into it. And already, because he's on the back foot, as Sylvain mentioned, with the injuries, I think Digi can put a really strong season together to be as strong as he is this early on, and after missing those tests. So I think it's boding really well.
How significant is it that Pecco Bagnaia pushed back a little bit now? Still on the second row, but going from 6th tomorrow and today.
He's still there, but there's another 4 Ducatis in front of him. I mean, the only Ducati that's behind him is the rookie Aldeguer. So yeah, I mean, it's been like that since we got here. So for Pecco, it's still not quite there. You know, he should really be in front of all the other guys, except for Mark, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, for him, he'll look back thinking, I still need to find something. And yeah, he's gonna have to fight hard, you know, against all these Ducatis. All these guys have got very performant bikes, and they're really strong as well. So for Pecco, that's not ideal.
No, the fact that he has got the likes of Digi and his teammate Franco Morbidelli ahead of him.
Yeah, Frankie's looking strong as well. Yeah, Ducatis, all 6 of them are really strong around here. Even Aldeguer, that little slip-off probably put him out of position, because he's been looking good this weekend. But yeah, it is the GP25 as we anticipated. Mark and Digi, they're finding a little bit more already by round 3.
We can hear from Fabio Di Gianantonio now. He's talking to Nat.
Fabio, congratulations. I think you're just watching your lap back there. You were on the front row, off the front row, but finally confirmed. Just talk us through it and how pleased you are.
Yeah, I was seeing just now the pictures of my team being angry like me, let's say, when the lap time got cancelled. But yeah, anyway, I think we've done an incredible job. The goal today was to be on the front row, and we got it. So that's amazing for us, for the sprint of this afternoon, and also for the race of tomorrow. Here we know that Mark has something more compared to us, but I think if we are close to him, maybe we can force him a little bit.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Yeah, great for Fabio Di Gianantonio. We can see him out there on track. It was Mir going down in the yellow flags that caused the confusion, but there he is then on the front row, and here he comes now. And he looks great, looks really planted on that bike, doesn't he?
Yeah, what a ride. See the way he picked up the bike there on the exit of the last turn. Really, really nice, using all the rear grip, that new tyre. And yeah, that was Ucho.
Yeah.
Where's my lap? Where's the lap? Where's it gone? So yeah, real relief for them. They're doing such a great job, that team. You know, fantastic job. The atmosphere in there as well, you just it feels like you just want to be part of that team, don't you? Everybody's really enjoying themselves, they're loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an important thing to say as well, being part of the team, because even though Fabio is in the team, he's never been in that inner circle, if you like, of the guys that train at the ranch and everything. And now you really feel like he's there.
Yeah, he's grown up in the same area, but he went the Grassini route. He wasn't part of the VR46 Sky team or the Academy, so always probably felt a little outside the bubble that is the aura that Valentino Rossi has and draws all the young Italian riders. He was never part of that pack, but he is now, and they've welcomed him in, which is good to see. He's not an honorary member of the Academy, I don't believe, but inside that team, Ucho does a fantastic job. He's like the cheerleader of the whole squad. Pablo Nieto, they've got a really nice dynamic down there.
And they have got a good feeling about this weekend. I think I mentioned it on Friday. They were in the same plane as us, and Ucho had a little nap, and then when he woke up, he started singing. And I was laughing. I was like, oh, this bodes well for the weekend.
What was he singing?
He was singing. I don't know what it was, but Frankie Morbidelli was behind, and his head popped up as well, and he went, yeah, me too. I'm really excited about this weekend. It was a comical 5 minutes. It really was. But just goes to show the feeling of the team, and just want to not miss out on talking about Pedro Acosta here, because he obviously just slipped back off the front row, but he looked really good out there. What about in race trim, do you think?
I hope he can do something this weekend. Matt Oxley reporting yesterday that he's ditched the obviously we don't know for sure, but we believe that they put a mass damper into the seat unit this year. And the bike, it looks big and cumbersome at the rear, maybe just too much aero going on. But this weekend, he's looking a little bit more agile, a bit more comfortable on the bike, and should have been a front row, really.
Yeah.
So, or, well, close at least. So that's all very positive.
It's pretty much owned by the Marquez brothers, with Marc Marquez in pole position, and he's now talking with Nat.
Mark, congratulations. A bit of a moment on that first run, but I don't think the pole was ever in doubt. But 3 in a row, how does that feel?
Yeah, I tried to break a bit later on that turn 11, and I saw that the rear start to lift, and then I said, okay, time to stop in the box and change the tire. But yeah, I'm fast. Now I need to work on that way to be more consistent, smoother. That, for example, in FP2 this morning, I was able to be consistent and fast. On the time attack, I was a bit, I think I was exaggerating too much, and then even I was slower. So let's see if I can find a way to be a bit smoother, control the tires, and yeah, the most important will be have a good start and try to lead the race.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
I suppose it's what makes him the best and extraordinary, in the handle that he has of absolutely everything about himself and everybody around him.
He can adapt. You know, it was really interesting what he said, actually. Basically, he said, I started to override the bike, and you can do that really easily on a time attack. You've got grip, you're trying to be, you've got to thrash the bike for like a lap, so physically you can actually really be sort of violent with the bike and override it and make it slide, and this is not efficient with the Ducati. So he was saying, try to do that, realized that it wasn't working, dialed it down a little bit, and then the lap time came. And this is what happened when he was running his race pace as well this morning with the Ducati. Since the start of the year, actually, this is what we're seeing him do. It looks, actually, it doesn't look like Marc Marquez on that bike. It looks smooth, it doesn't look erratic, it looks like everything comes easy to him. So he's such a complete rider. I mean, I know I'm talking a lot, but he's...
Michael wants to say something, or he wants to go to the loo. I'm not quite sure which one.
No, the overhead shots, you had Joan Mir on the Honda chasing, looking like Marc Marquez, diving in on the brakes, trying to claw it back, and Marc just sitting back, accelerating off the turns. It's a massive shift in how he approaches it.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch, isn't it? Pole position then, the third one on the bounce. We'll take a little break now. When we come back, of course, we'll be heading forward to Moto3. But don't forget, the sprint race today will be at 8 o'clock. Our build-up starts about 7:30, so don't miss that one. See you in a minute.
Thank you, Susie. Yeah, what an absolutely fantastic weekend we are shaping up to have. Really is going to be good. The sprint race then coming your way at 8 o'clock. Next up here on JB Motorsports, it's practice and qualifying from NASCAR at Martinsville in around about an hour. Go get some food and rejoin us then when MotoGP returns to go sprinting at COTA. Bye-bye.